Hello, this is Daniel. I am one of the product managers on the configure stage. I specifically focus on the orchestration group. And today I will be sharing with you the items that the orchestration group will be working on for release 12.7 of GitLab, which will be shipping in January 22nd. So let's get right to it. The first one is going to be allowing the selection of networks and subnetworks when you are creating a GKE cluster within GitLab. So today, when you create a cluster in GKE, you have access here to select a network other than the default, and the same with the subnet. So if you have a more complex networking scheme in your Kubernetes setup, you're able to set that up when you create it in GKE, but that's not the case when you create it in GitLab. So for the user that has a more complex networking setup in GKE, they will now be able to select the network when they create the cluster within GitLab, as well as the subnet. So this will give you more flexibility and will allow you to get more done while you're inside of GitLab. The next thing that we're going to be working on is going to be automatically creating a cluster management project when one is not specified manually. So as you know, right now, we are moving towards the ability to install GitLab managed apps using GitLab CI. And I think I've talked about the benefits of this quite a bit, but to recap, you're going to be able to not only see all the commands that are being issued to your cluster, but you additionally will have the capability to customize all the charts before they are installed to your cluster. So if you don't want to use the default values for some reason, you're going to be able to customize these via the cluster management project. So long term, what we want is to move all of the GitLab managed apps to this new method. And this new method will require that a project exists and is designated as a cluster management project. So long term, what we want to do is create the project automatically for you, populate it with some templates. Of course, nothing will be done by default unless there's user intent of wanting to install one of the apps. So to eliminate the necessity to create this project manually and fill it with templates, GitLab will do it automatically for you when a cluster is created. So we really look forward to this as one step closer to a flow that will allow us to use all the GitLab primitives such as CI and version control to manage all the charts that are installed in cluster. And then the last thing that we're going to focus on is adding the Litmus chaos to the GitLab managed apps templates. So as I mentioned previously, we are now adding templates to this cluster management project. And right now, the template contains apps such as Ingress, such as Sentry. So Litmus is a Kubernetes native chaos engineering set of CRDs that allow you to practice chaos engineering. And this is really great. Litmus has kind of different chaos experiments in their generic chaos charts. And once we have this, you will be able to enable all of these experiments for your cluster, and you will be able to simulate what happens when you lose one of your pods, what happens when you have increased CPU use, what happens when there's increased network latency, things like that. So a really cool set of experiments that you're going to be able to do once we have this template in the cluster management project. So that's going to be kind of the first step. And then long term, what we want to do is include the ability to use Litmus with auto DevOps. And what that means is that with a single CI variable, you're going to be able to indicate whether or not you want to practice chaos in your project and what kind of chaos experiments you want to do. So instead of having to deal with CRDs and all the YAML configuration for chaos engineering, GitLab will give you an easy way to do this out of the box. So we're really excited to see this come into fruition. You will notice that our release is kind of a bit shorter than the other releases, and that is because it's our December release. So obviously we have the holidays and such, but we're really looking forward to these very cool new features. And then we have a couple of bugs with Auto DevOps that will be addressed as part of 12.7 as well. So we're really looking forward to 12.7 and happy holidays to everyone. As always, your feedback is welcome. Please feel free to reach out should you have any questions. Thank you.